Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we are looking at our Hollywood Racks Sport Rider SE 2-bike platform style rack here on our 2021 Toyota Highlander. Now this is a great rack if you have like 2 electric bicycles because of its huge weight capacity of 80 pounds per bike, and it has all your other nice little features. The first feature is that it can tilt away, and to do so has a little bit of a process. You need to take out this clip, and that releases this pin. Now you may need to lift up a little bit on the rack just to get that pin loose, but after that you can then pull this lever, and that allows it to drop down, and it stops itself right there at the bottom. From here you can then open up your trunk. Now let's take a look here. You can see how there is definitely room between the door and the bike, which allows you to get into your trunk, maybe push your groceries away, or grab your bike equipment like your helmet without having to take off your bike or the bike rack completely. And to bring it back up, all you need to do is lift that back up, and that lever pops back into place. Make sure to put back your pin and clip after you have it up though, just to make sure that it is secure. So let's get that pin into place. The way our bike is mounted to this bike rack is by this frame mount. So if you do have maybe electric bikes with step-through frames, you are going to need to use a frame adapter bar to be able to use this mount. And if you want to take it off, you have it here at 2 wheel straps and the frame mount. So you have to take off that wheel strap by pressing that lever and then pulling up on the strap to release it. I recommend sliding it to the side so it doesn't get into the way. So that's one strap. And then press this lever, release the second strap, and from here we can release these frame mounts. Now what I like to do is just to lift this all the way up. These frame mounts are lockable, so make sure they're unlocked first. And from here you tilt the bike a little bit away from the frame, and then you bring it forward, and you are ready to go on a bike ride. Let's take a look at the frame mount itself. You can see how it ratchets down to secure your bike's frame to the vehicle. And again, if you do have step-through bikes, you are going to need that adapter bar since this frame mount only goes so high. To move the mast down, what you need to do is to release this pin. Make sure you rotate it all the way around to where it releases. Then this can go down, and then you secure it back again with the pin you just took out. Put that back in there and turn it to lock it in place. Let's look at these hoops. So these are the universal wheel hoops, and these can be adjusted to move back and forth on your bike rack to get the best fit for your bike. If you have fat tire bikes, this is great because they can fit tire widths of up to 5 inches. As you can see right there, you have a lot of space for your fat tire bikes. And for weight capacity, this has a weight capacity of 80 pounds per bike, which is awesome and one of the heavier capacities I've seen. When you do have a bike rack behind your vehicle, some length is added to the back of it. Let's see exactly how much. From our back bumper to the end of our wheel hoops right over there, it is 30¼ inches. So that's a fair amount of length, something to keep in mind when you are backing into your garage or parking into a tight spot. As for ground clearance, we have 2 different points of measurement. We have over here at the back by the reflector, and that sits at 21¼ inches. Now for over here where our shank, in line with our shank, it is 14 inches. So that's a fair amount of ground clearance, just something to keep in mind when you are driving up a steep driveway or up a hill. This bike rack can also be folded up. It has another little process to that as well. So first, you need to remove this clip again, then take out that pin. Let's just let it drop for now. Now you have to release the first lever and the second lever. So let's get that up there. Okay, with that first lever released, you can see how it switches levers, and the second lever bolts into place to secure it. Now pop that pin back in there, right there, just to keep that in place while it is folded up. Now let's see the difference in length with it folded up now. From our back bumper to the back of the bike rack, which is right here by our knob, it is 15.5 inches. So that's a big difference compared to when it was folded down. Now let's take a look at the closest point between our bike rack and our vehicle. So the closest point would be by this arm. It might be in line with our bumper. So that's a lot of space between there. It's 6.5 inches, so you really don't have to worry about clearance between your vehicle and the bike rack. This bike rack fits into 2-inch hitches, just like what we have here on our Toyota Highlander. And this is a tool-free install, meaning you just pop this bike rack in, you insert this hitch pin, which comes with a lock, and then you tighten it down by this knob here at the end. Now I recommend that when you do so, you really should be shaking the bike rack as much as you can, just to get all that play out as you tighten it down. And you can see that as I shake this bike rack as hard as I can, that play is definitely taken out. My final thoughts about this bike rack is I really do like how it has such a huge weight capacity, as well as how it can accommodate your large fat bike tires. Now, I do not enjoy the frame mount as much, since I know a lot of you might have an electric step-through style bike. Now this can be remedied by getting a frame adapter bar, or another option is to choose a bike rack that has a clamp frame that can be rotated. But other than that, this works really well with our Highlander because you can tilt it away and you definitely have clearance between your bikes and the door, so that is awesome. So that was a look at the Hollywood Rack Sport Rider SE for 2 electric bikes here on our 2021 Toyota Highlander.